without further ado, we're gonna jump right into it. Do all of y'all know about MABI, the Madison Alliance for Black Economic Empowerment? Are all of y'all somewhat familiar? You can unmute if you got stuff in your background.
I just found out myself after, of course, getting in contact with you through Brandy. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm just seeing if I got to do an intro to what we do with MABI. I feel like
I was able to read the information, so I'm good here.
Okay, cool. Okay, it looks like cool too. Okay, cool. So we will move right along to clarity. I'm gonna move really fast because I want to respect y'all's time. But if for whatever reason, you know, you got some questions, just don't hesitate to interrupt. Take yourself off mute, and let me know what's up. So with clarity, what we're gonna use here is called a clarity tool. And I did this exercise with a youth group that I taught called Youth Emerging Successfully, and I had them try to direct their partner. I had them partner up, and I had them try to direct their partner through this course through a room without bumping into each other and without bumping into the wall. And as you can imagine, kids doing this, these are middle school and high school kids, they having all kind of fun with it, man, walking their friends right into the wall, walking their friends into each other. And the reason why they were able to do that is because their friends had their eyes closed. They had no clarity. They had to rely on someone else to tell them where to go. And this was the introduction to our lesson on clarity for Youth Emerging Successfully. And then what we moved into after that, I won't do that with y'all right now because we're on Zoom and it's kind of pointless. But we moved into 4 pillars of clarity. And these are 4 questions to ask yourself. So if you have a pen and paper, I'd invite you to write them down. If not, you can just take a gander at the screen. But what is this here? Oh, that was my intro. Okay. So can y'all still see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So clarity, we got 4 questions for you to ask yourself. One is where you are now. Where are you now? Where are you going? Why? Which is probably one of the most important questions. And what do you need to get there? Where are you now? Where are you going? Why? And what do you need to get there? So we're going to take maybe 5 minutes to check this out. Uh-oh, I got smooth jazz playing. You want to take maybe 5 minutes for y'all to just contemplate this on yourself. I'll set a timer, and then we'll come back and share our answers. We want to keep our shares to roughly 2 minutes so that we can allow other people to have time without it taking up the whole space. Fair enough?
Indeed.
Okay. Right on. We're about halfway through right now. Clarity. Where are you now? Where are you going? Why? And what do you need to get there? About halfway through.
With a smile on my face, jumped out of bed, took a shower, dressed, blinked on my face, made me some
We got a little bit over a minute left. We got about 20 more seconds. Come back to it. Try to start finishing up your thought. Okay, we should be wrapping up here. This doesn't have to be exhaustive, but you want to have it enough to where, as if you were talking to somebody who could make this happen for you, they would know how to make it happen for you. They would have the clear layout of what it is that you're looking for. So we got clarity. Are y'all good? Y'all need some more time? Yeah, we need some more time, or y'all good?
I guess I'm as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, okay. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Okay. All right, who wants to share? Who is willing to share? Talking about clarity, where we're at, where we're going, why, and what we need to get there.
I'll share.
All right, Latia, what up?
Now, I'm going to be transparent with this.
Please.
Where I am now, I'm kind of stuck. And I'm stuck in the sense of knowing that I have this downtime to really do some rebranding and to get some things done that I want to. However, it's honestly kind of hard to focus on those things, being that I'm juggling quite a bit right now, and I'm really trying to determine if, in fact, that I want to go back into my space, or if I'm ready to pursue my other goal for my business. So I'm in a stuck place right now. Where I'm going, I'll say where I would like to be going, I guess is the best way to put it. I would like to be using all the platforms that I won't even necessarily say platform. I would like to be using all the different streams that I had goals for myself in business. And as you know, or maybe you don't know, I'm an esthetician, so I have a skincare business. But I also wanted to do a skincare line, and that is started, but I'm kind of stuck with that too because it's just more I want to be able to offer. And then I would also like to do some webinars or seminars based on skincare. So that's where I would like to be going. I would like to be going more in detail with my skincare line, and I would like to be also doing seminars, webinars, however, and then what do I need to get there? I guess I just need to really focus on knowing that.
Wait, we're missing why. We're missing our why.
Oh, why? So why? Because I honestly feel like everyone may not necessarily feel comfortable with coming into my practice, or I may not be accessible to them. So the fact that I can go and do seminars or do webinars and share with them skincare facts and things that they can do to care for their skin, and different techniques, for those who are maybe other estheticians, there are some things that they may want to use in their practice. So I would like to do the webinars because I just feel like you reach more than just one audience doing that.
Okay. Accessibility and reach. And while Latia is sharing this, you all, I'm taking notes on this, and I'm going to be taking notes as all of you are sharing. And for those of you who are led and you feel like you have the capacity, I'd invite you to take notes as other folks are sharing as well, because you never know, you might have an answer for them and they might have an answer for you. And so this is part of building the hive. Mabi is all about the hive mentality, stronger together. So if you can take notes and just, listen to what we're saying that we need, and we'll do the same for you. And our goal is to support each other in getting there. Sorry to interrupt, Latia.
Oh, no, that's okay. Another thing I was going to mention, because it has come up so often with me, like even doing like videos, I want to be able to also connect with those on social media platforms as well, because again, I'm not accessible to everyone right now. My business is here in Madison, but I have like family and friends all over, and I would love to do also be able to do like lives and things and that for me is a comfortable, I'm not at a comfortable level to really like get on there and do the lives, but I also want to do online skin consultations as well, because I get that a bit. Like I can't come see you, but can you tell me what I can do? Can I send you a picture of my skin and you can tell me what may be the best thing for me to use based upon what you see? So that's another direction I would love to go into, being able to do skin analysis via Zoom or via whatever platform allows me to look at the skin, or even doing FaceTime.
Mhm.
So what do I need to get there? I guess I just need to I'm not a technical savvy person. I also have been going back and forth lately with, I guess, knowing my value and knowing my abilities to be able to offer everything it is that I want to do, from the webinars, the seminars, the online skin consultations, and things of that nature. Just finding that confidence in knowing that I'm enough. Honestly, as a Black woman in a skincare business, I feel like my time in business has kept me to feeling like I compete, but then I'm also always trying to have to prove myself that I'm worthy of, clientele and, customers, clients coming in and getting services, and I'm gonna always do my best. It's not based on color. So yeah.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. And I apologize, I wasn't timing you, but I'm glad you were able to get that out. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could do, if everybody took 2 minutes, we could get through everybody in about 15 minutes, 2 minutes or less. Let's try to, we just want to make sure that other people have the time to share through their full questions here. And what we're going to do with this in a minute, after, we're going to revisit our notes and really hone in on each other. So we want to take some time for that too. Who wants to jump in next? We got Miss Judy, we got Sharon, we got Brian, we got Mama Jackie, Shantae, Johnny and Yolanda, Awa. Who do we have jumping in next?
I can go next.
Okay.
Okay. So where am I now? Right now, I'm working on getting, transition my business from, I used to be able to do it in person, but getting things online, which is what I've been planning on doing for a long time now. So transitioning that in-person feel to the online feel. So I'm finding that I'm really enjoying that, trying to come up with a YouTube video that is instructional and showing people how to use my magnetic jewelry. Where I'm going, like I said, I'm a hopeless optimist. I just am. I see that I'm going to go up. I'm going to meet my customers where they're at. Right now, I'm not only do I have my customers, I'm tapping into the promotional market. Before COVID hit, I just delivered the magnetic badge holders to the city of Madison. The mayor was interested in what I had, so I have city of Madison, Wharf, and Jockey under my belt on the promotional front. So if those companies are out there, I can offer it to even more companies out there. So I'm looking to push it into the promotional market as well. Then also my why is to meet my customers where they're at. I got that all the time while I was out there. Well, when are you gonna be online? So I'm gonna meet my customers where they're at, and when the world opens back up, I'll be out selling again, so I can cover it twofold. My why is to eventually be able to generate enough revenue so that I can give back. I feel that no amount of money is worth anything if you can't give back. That's just, how it is. And then what do I need? Right now, I'm doing a lot of these things myself. Entrepreneurs, I think that a lot of times people get overwhelmed and all of that because we wear so many different hats. So ultimately what I want to do is build my team. Marketing, I'm dibbling, dabbling in all of that. Marketing, sales, photography, assembly, and all of, and so it entails a lot. Learning a lot about online. But my ultimate goal and what I need is to build my team. It's hard to do that right now, but I'm working on my way of kind of doing it so that I'm not giving 100% of myself to it. I am, but I mean, as far as a team, I don't want to be one of those entrepreneurs that just totally burn out because I'm having to do everything myself. I can't specialize in everything. I don't hope to. So team building, having my own team is going to be great and help me scale up.
Nice, nice. Okay. So for Latia, I heard that where you're at right now, you're feeling kind of stuck. Where you're going is towards skincare line with webinars and online access. And your why is to have it be more accessible and to expand your reach. And that you also want to be able to do consulting work for folks online and do analysis. And what you really need beyond the tech savvy stuff and all of that, the mechanics is the confidence to know that this is something that you can do and to get over what some people call imposter syndrome. Am I picking that up right?
You are. That was great.
Okay, word. Okay. And for
Yeah.
Judy, I got that you're transitioning to online. That's where you're at right now. You're transitioning to online. And where you're going is you're entering into the promotional market. So for promotional items. And your why is that you want to meet your customers where they're at. And also you want to be able to give back. And your need is that you need a team. You need marketing. You need sales. You need the online. And you need to not burn out. Did I hear that right?
You are absolutely correct.
Word. Okay. I'm getting excited because I know we got some stuff for y'all and it's juicy, but I want to get to the rest of the people. So we're going to keep it moving. Who can jump in here?
Okay.
Hello, I can. This is Shantae.
What's up, Shantae?
So where I am now, I look at it as a fresh start, to restructure, to redo, and to recover. I guess I'm in preparation mode to reopen my business. I'm a hairdresser, so I own a hair salon suite in Sun Prairie. I'm looking to be more active on web. I have a website, but it's not up to date. And I had just met with someone right before all this happened in regards to updating my website and kind of rebranding myself. And so I was already in the process of doing so. And so then I know for a fact that with going back into business, I'm gonna be doing online booking because there won't be a whole lot of access to paper and pen anymore. So just coming into I've been a hairdresser for 17 years and this is my 6th year in business, but I've just kind of been doing things the way I knew how. So I hadn't crossed over into technology. So now where am I going? I have to be better at doing what I was doing before. It was working, but now I have to be better at it and not just making it. I have to grow. And I have to learn to step out of my comfort zone. And so my why is because I have to. I'm not able to stay in that same position because of the fact that now it's uncomfortable to stay in that same position. I'll die in that position if I don't move forward. And what do I need to get there? I really need to be not just talking about it. I actually need to follow through with it. I'm more of on a shyer type. Even though I think a lot and, if you can get me one-on-one, I'll talk, but when it's a group, I don't talk. And so with my business, it's more of a one-on-one. So I have great ideas, but I just don't follow through with them. So because of the fact that life happens and because I'm a mom of 2, my business has been put on the back burner for the last couple of years. And so I've been on autopilot. So I really need to just follow through on the things that I have planned.
Right on. Woo! Wow. So I heard that you are reopening and in preparation mode. You're going toward improving where you're going. You're improving your online space and you want to grow and you're wanting to do better and get better. The why is because I love it. It's kind of morbid, but that's motivation. You said I have to or I'll die. And that's like usually, it's not 100% of the time, but usually if them the stakes, we tend to live through those moments, So, and if it's either or, and you choosing, I know you choosing life, and I know that means you choosing success. So thank you for that, because that's powerful. And we're gonna talk about some of that. I'm getting there. Okay, so you need to get past talk. And get past follow through. And there are some exercises that we can show you to really help you hone in on what is going to be most effective for you to do right now. And I'll give you that in your follow through work as a part of this group. So thank you for being with us and sharing that. Who's next?
I'll go. Sharon.
What's up, Sharon?
Okay. So where am I now? I am a serial entrepreneurial. I'm always starting my own business, going back working a job, realizing I don't like it, then going back to start another career. And the past couple of years, I've been trying to find the right career. And it just hasn't been working out. So now I find myself with COVID helping people out, finding out about business opportunities, resources, networking to help them. And so, and a lot of people have usually called on me for my advice in the past. So I've been giving advice and really just taking advantage of this free time to help people. And so it's basically like I'm taking advantage of all the experience I've gotten from being an entrepreneur and working in corporate America and helping people in their businesses. So it's kind of what I do, the why. So I'm thinking about turning it into a consulting opportunity, especially during this time when businesses have to pivot based on what's going on. So what I need to do to get there is just believe in myself and actually get the drive to do it for the most part, because it's kind of what I've been doing. So
Right on.
Be my own boss and keep it moving.
Okay. So I got that you are a serial entrepreneur. You've had some back and forth with business, and now you've been really helping people navigate changes due to COVID-19, and that you're where you're headed is toward a consulting business that will help you to help other people, which is your why. You want to help other people, and in order to do that, you need to be able to believe in yourself, similar to Latia here, where you're both saying similar things, that I need that confidence, I need that self-confidence. So maybe there's a way that you can support each other, but there's one of the best things for confidence is results, and consistency. And I'm going to show you in your work, in your follow-through work after this session, how to a process to help you get through that and get those results. Small wins lead to big wins. So, okay, we're going to keep it moving because I want to respect y'all's time, but we're going through clarity. And I'm going to ask y'all if you can try to keep it to 1 to 2 minutes so that we can get through everybody. Who's next?
I can go.
What's up, Brian?
What's happening? Man, I like what everybody is saying. I think we kind of all in the same boat a little bit. I actually just found someone to try to work on my web page and stuff like that. But where I am now, I feel like I am about a quarter of the way there to my goal, and halfway, or I'm just stuck. Like I'm halfway, but now I'm just stuck because I'm actually trying to get past the politics of things. And what I mean of things, that means as far as with funding and stuff like that with my college. Where am I going? My goal is to become the first Black college to put youth and to put other men and women in a position to own their own business or to take their trades or skills a little bit further. So that's where I'm going with things. Besides aiming to be a millionaire. Why? Because I feel like it's my reasonable duty. I'm responsible for promoting the change that happened to the youth that's coming up under me, and it's just mandatory. I have to. It's my reasonable service. What do you need to get there? What do I need to get there? I would say it would probably be the resources and money, because I've had my college for a little bit now, and the funding, because I'm a slight nonprofit, for-profit, I'm not eligible for financial aid. But everyone knows that my college is based around troubled teens and guys and women re-entering back into the community from prison who can't get financial aid because the youth can't get financial aid until they graduate, but who's to say they're going to graduate? So that's my push into promoting graduation, because I can apprenticeship youth right now in my college starting at the age of 16, and they'll walk away with their barber's license by the time they graduate. So that's one of my main things. But I want to follow back on Latia because she's in the position that I'm actually looking to talk to someone about. So I probably can help you so we can kind of connect because I probably have all the equipment
Wow.
you need at my college right now.
Wow.
But there is no one to teach the classes, and I have some connections because
Come
there's a lot
on,
of
man.
women.
Look.
There's a lot of women that want to do that want to focus on facials and makeup. So if you know someone else, I'm also looking for a nail tech because I have a gang of stuff like that. But to teach though, not work for me, to do your own thing though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yes. We definitely need to chat.
so that's where I'm at. Like I for real, I have a whole school ready to go.
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
Beautiful place. Beautiful.
Thank you. Individual classrooms and everything. So you can have your own class. If you want to host your own seminar, there's a class. There's a TV on the wall in the class. So,
I'm really appreciating this connection. It sounds like we making these connections. This is why we do this. Clarity Tool. Feel free to take these questions with you in whatever networking spaces you go in, because when people answer these questions, you're bound to find somebody who has what you need, and or who is similarly aligned. So we're witnessing that right now, and thank y'all for being an example of that.
For sure.
I do want to keep it pushing so we can hear from people, but I'm gonna make sure that y'all get and stay connected. Who else do we got here? Man, this is down. Woo! All right. Who else we got? We got Mama Jackie, Awa, Shantae. Oh, we heard from Shantae. Johnny and Yolanda. Looks like we got y'all in here twice.
We can go now. Johnny,
Okay.
Johnny and Yolanda.
Me?
Let's
Oh,
see
Johnny.
where we're at now. We're really doing a lot of networking, and we've been fortunate. It seems like lately we've been able to speak to one person who's introduced us to someone else. So we're really just trying to take advantage of these opportunities with other people. One is like getting our website up, branding is another thing, a logo. We met a really talented young brother who's helping us with that. And someone touched on it earlier. Really, time management is one of the things that we talked about last week. If life happens, but it seems like we let smaller tasks interfere with the bigger picture. So we've really tried to focus in on like our list of things to do each day, and really start with identify what's the most important and really what's the hardest, and start there first, and then moving forward. And hopefully, that we'll be able to really come out on the other side of this with more clients, with larger revenue, with more exposure and access. That's really what we're looking for right now. And again, it's just really networking. I think this group helped just talking to people. There was a connection that was just made recently. So hopefully, we'll get to that point where during these discussions, there may be something that we can glean from someone else, or someone, we can benefit from someone else on this group. So, that's where we're at right now.
Right on. And I heard you talk about a little bit of where you're headed. I heard more clients, more revenue, more exposure and access. Why are you doing this, and what do you need to get there?
Why are we doing this? Selfishly, just to be independent and have our own, take charge of our own destiny and our own income. I think is a large driver of it. But I think we have a skill set, my wife and I, they can make us successful. So we're taking that leap of faith to say we can do it on our own. And you said why, and what was the other question that you said?
What do you need to get there?
on our part, really just making sure we're managing our time better. Not getting distracted by life. And really just access, continuous conversations with people. It's the one thing I can say for Black folks, if we know something, we share it. It's when you try to expand and go outside of your own network to other groups where the tension and the conflict comes in. So I'm just really appreciating this forum and our folks for being so willing to just say, oh yeah, I like this forum. Oh, I got a classroom. You can have your own classroom. Here it is.
Right, there it is, just like that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Anything attached to it.
So what I'm hearing you say is that where you all are at now is you're networking, you're kind of forcing it, you're getting your branding together, your website, logo, connected with a young man to do that. And where you're headed to is more clients, more revenue, greater exposure and greater access. And what your why is because you're looking for independence. You want to own your destiny and your income, and also because you have the skill set and you can. So you that's part of your why. And your needs to get that is you need better time management, so that you can overcome and not get distracted by lack of distractions, which I think is everybody's need, but it sounds like there's still some resonance here with that. I think that's everybody. Are we missing somebody? Awa, did you go? Yeah, I don't have Awa.
I'm here.
Okay, do you want to briefly share where you're at now, where you're going, why, and what you need to get there?
Okay, where I am right now, I am stuck one place. So I'm here with the 3 kids. I lost my job. The job I do, I know how to do hair. And secondly, I know how to create a website. I have that skill also, but I lose everything because of this coronavirus. I don't have no customer, no contact, and I don't welcome people in my house because of I'm scared. I have kids, and my goal it is like I'm pushing the business to go up. Why I am doing that because I'm a disabled woman. I'm using wheelchair, so I need independent. I need to do something for myself. Instead of like I don't know how to say it, but like some public, like with a disabled, is very hard. I don't know, but you know what I mean. I don't know how to talk in group. I'm trying to explain it myself. So I know.
I'm picking it up. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what that means. So that's why I want to do something independent for myself. I have a skill of website. I did website program with YWCA. I graduate, I used to do after work. I do it at home, like corner side, people contact me. I did it, but now everything stopped because of this coronavirus, So my goal it is, I want to push it hard so that I can stand for myself, and I need support, That's what it is. I know you, I have accent, but I know you understand what I want to say, all right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. So I hear you saying that you're stuck, you're jobless, you got your kids there, but you have skills to develop a website and to do hair, and you where you're going with this, you want to get into business for yourself. And part of your reasoning for that, your why, is so that you can do for yourself, have your independence, and because you have training from the YWCA to do this. And what you need to do that is some support.
Yes.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Did we miss anybody? Is there anyone else who needs to share? Oh, Miss Jackie.
Okay. All right. So where am I now? Sitting at home at my kitchen table. On my way, right now I'm doing consulting. I'm writing. I'm building relationships and seeking out like funding and resources for what it is that I would like to do. Can y'all hear me?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. All right. And so where am I now? So where am I going? Where am I going? That's next, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I am going on to promote and brand myself for more speaking and consulting. I'm creating this home, which is a project, a physical place that I created for the Social Good Accelerator program. And I want to continue branding and getting more exposure. Why? I believe this is because my experiences were not only for me. I believe in Black families, and I believe that we can thrive with the right supports, given all that we've had to experience as a people. I also believe that we have a generation that's lost, and I contributed to that through my addiction and being a drug dealer and all those other bad things I used to be. And so some of those parents have kids now, just like that are young adults like my kids were, and they missed. You know, they weren't there parenting those kids, and they are now adults with kids, and their kids ain't getting parented. So in my own little twisted way, I want to do my little part to try to help that generation that I believe I contributed to them being kind of lost. And if I'm not a part of the solution, that means I'm continuing to be part of the problem. And so for clarity, what do I need to get there? I need, I too can't be all things right now. To what, I mean, you know, I have been that person, but I also have people who I can, you know, bounce stuff off of and go to when I need something. But what I like to have is a team. A team that I'm able to pay, that is there for me and able to do the things that need to be done. I need tech support. I need marketing strategies. I need fundraising tips. So yeah.
Right on. Woo. Okay. All right. That was kind of biblical right there. So this is what I got. And let me know if I'm off base here, but I got that where you're at right now, you are sitting at your kitchen table. And then you got, but you're doing consulting, writing, relationship building, and finding resources. Where you're going is to more speaking and more consulting work. And you're also putting together this physical space, and also increasing your exposure and your branding. And your reasoning why. Your why is that your journey was not just for you. This is also for other people, to support other people, that you believe in supporting Black people, and that you contributed to a generation that is lost, and you want to do your part to help find them and bring them back, which I think is really, really beautiful. And what you need there is definitely a team. Like so many of us, you need tech support, marketing, fundraising, and strategy work. Did I catch that?
Yes, you did. You got it.
Right on. Okay.
All right.
Are we missing anybody? Because I really want to get into some high level light coaching, and I want y'all to take whatever notes that you can. And how many of y'all took some notes on the other folks? Okay, how many of you have some feedback for some of the other people? I see Mama Jackie.
I have feedback.
Okay, we'll get you, Judy, and then we'll get Mama Jackie. And if you have feedback for some of the other folks, just let me know. Raise your hand or something. We can get you unmuted. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I have feedback from Latia. I want to say, Lottie, how do you pronounce your name?
Latia.
That's what I thought. Okay,
you
Latia.
can just call me Tia.
Tia, okay. One, I know you were talking about like the live and how, you know, that can be intimidating to sit in front of a screen or whatever, but, you know, just kind of practice it and do it. I know when I was trying to put together a video, an instructional video to upload to YouTube, and I sat there, I don't know how many times I did it. So that was my practice sessions, and you don't have to upload them, you know, so just kind of do that. I think it's just a matter of just getting, but one of the things I wanted to share with you that kind of helped me come out of my shell was that one of the things I really love to do is sing. I used to perform Ethnic Fest and all of that. I'm like, well, you know what? If I used to do that, I surely should be able to get, you know, in front of a camera and do that. So a couple of Thursdays, I actually did a live session on on a Thursday night, I think one night, and I was just singing and just having a good time. So I think if you kind of, because we think, you know, it's kind of scary, it can be intimidating, but it can also be fun. So I just wanted to say you can practice just by doing a little bit of self videos and stuff too, and get you more comfortable. Or you can do a live and you don't have to have it just open. You can invite people to it. I'm pretty sure that's an option. So kind of practice it that way.
Okay, great. Thank you for that feedback. I'll definitely look into doing that invite, because that's something I know I want to do.
Yeah.
But like you said, getting comfortable with it, I need to actually be doing it. You know?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. That's beautiful. Anybody else want to share? I know Miss Jackie had something to share for one or some of y'all.
I have something.
We want to hear from, I'm gonna acknowledge Miss Jackie real quick because she had her hand up before. Who else was that?
Sharon.
Let Sharon go. She can go.
Okay.
My thought was more towards the resources, and I'm not sure if everybody's aware of it. One of my previous jobs, I used to work for unemployment back in 2008, kind of when the economy was kind of like it is now. So for those people who have lost their jobs because of COVID, don't forget you can apply for unemployment. It's a little bit easy, although there's a lot of people applying. It's a little bit easier because of COVID. So if you haven't looked into that, please do. Additionally, they've opened it up to self-employed people and people who normally would not qualify because of COVID. So if you're self-employed and you have less clients and your work is declined because of that, definitely look into that. Those are weekly checks that you can receive as you wait for this time to pass. So if you have not looked into it, please do so.
Lovely.
So
Who else wants to jump in and share? Does anybody else have something to share with the other participants? Advice, feedback?
Yeah, I've got a close on that.
Who do we got here? Anybody else have something to share? If not, I can jump in here. Okay. So, I'm just taking some quick notes here. So thank you all for sharing that. One of the things that I want us to do, so much, I'm gonna just go through the line here. So for Miss Sharon, and for, who else was it? Latia, talking about believing in yourself. So I'm just going to run through some of the needs. But before I jump into that, the SBA Payment Protection Program, a lot of y'all already know about it. Some of y'all feel like you don't qualify, but us entrepreneurs, sole proprietors do qualify. You can participate. Also, Brian mentioned the Dane Buy Local. Check that out right away. Dane Buy Local, they released it today. An additional $10 million available for local organizations, local businesses. The application process is super simple. So it's extremely simple, up to $50,000. And you want to make sure that you're talking about the impact of COVID-19 to your business, and then also the impact of what funds would do for your business. So it's kind of like writing a grant.
Can you repeat that again?
Yep, it's Dane Buy Local. Dane Buy Local. And that's Dane Buy as in buying something from the store, local. Take some notes here. So there's that. If you haven't already done that, just take a look. As entrepreneurs, we got to be exhausted in all of our avenues. If you need support applying for either one of those, the PPP program or Ordained by Local, holler at me. Send an email to Mobby. Be happy to help walk you through that application process. But get it in ASAP. Also, for the Madison Alliance for Black Economic Empowerment, we have a little bit of money to support low barrier grants to entrepreneurs. And a lot of y'all have already received a little bit. Some of y'all are still in the queue. But we can do, I don't think we can do more than $400 per entrepreneur just because the need is so great. But that can be groceries, that can be transportation, that could be rent for some people, you know. So if you have not already, most of you have already completed the online form, but if you haven't already, or if you know entrepreneurs that may be in need, have them holler and we can see if there's something that we can do there. So talked about Mobby, talked about some immediate resources. We have some resource lists that we're going to be able to send out to you all. So I'm going to make sure that gets out to you all, resource lists. And this is not just for entrepreneurs, but this is also for just people in general who may be struggling to pay rent, struggling to get food. Mobby is part of a wide collaboration of 14 Black-led organizations that are collaborating to provide services to other people of color, other Black folks. So, you know, if you have a need for housing, for transportation, for food, or just miscellaneous expenses, I can make sure that gets forwarded to our network of 14 service providers and see if there's a way, if we can't help or if we've exhausted all of our resources, that we can get you connected to other organizations who can. So keep that in mind, and do send an email if you have a need for some food, for transportation, for miscellaneous expenses. And again, my mama just called me. I think I'm gonna be in trouble. But feel free to send an email if you have those needs, and again, make sure that you're tackling this right away. Okay, so when it comes to confidence and believing in yourself, one of the things that I learned from, this is coming from Tony Robbins, this is also coming from some other high-level speakers, some T.D. Jakes, some other folks, and really what I had to learn this for myself, and that was that I realized that what I was nervous about was what people would think about me as I put myself out there. And it became something, it became crippling almost, this idea that if people didn't believe me, people didn't trust me, people didn't like me, you know, I'm gonna make a fool out of myself. Are they gonna really buy in? Are people gonna, and the common theme between these lessons that I got from these leaders was that we are naturally designed to want people to approve of us and to want people to like us. And the idea that they won't scares us, because if they don't like us and if nobody likes us, then we won't have community. And as social beings, we really need community. We rely on community. But what makes a community is not just where we live, but it's also what we do. And not just what we do for ourselves, but what we do for each other. Community is an action as well as a thing. And the action part is something that we can participate in and we can do at any time. And that's serving. That's what we're doing for the community. So what has gotten rid of my nerves and the tool and the practice that I've learned from some of these leaders and these high-level professional speakers and speaking to tens of thousands of people at a time and coaching tens of thousands of people at a time, it's they come to it from a standpoint of service. And instead of them trying to represent and present themselves as something that, you know, and establish themselves as an authority, so to speak, they're instead coming from this from a standpoint of, I just want to help, I just want to serve, I just want to help, and I am purely coming to the table for that reason. Take me, for instance. I'm hosting a training with other entrepreneurs in a tank top. And this is how it unfolded today. My day was busy, but I'm not nervous about it. I'm not jittery about it because my whole purpose in being here is to support you all. And you can feel that energy coming through my presence here. And how many of y'all were looking at me like, how is he talking to us in a tank top? Probably didn't even think about that. You know, it's just because the genuine desire to serve is coming past whatever barriers would be to me being received by you. You're feeling that desire to serve. So when you come from that place of, I just want to serve and I know I'm going to be of service, that not only establishes confidence because you know what you do and you know it can help someone, but it also helps people receive you better as well. So you're not making someone receive you. You're just saying, hey, here I am to help, and here's what I have to do to help. And I know it can be a resource to you. And if you take it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. But at least I'm doing my part to build community, which is what we're looking for when we want to connect with people. So if that, I hope that serves you somewhere. And if, you know, I hope that serves you. But actually, yeah, let's hear from you, Latia and Sharon, if you can. Does that resonate at all? The idea of coming to your work that you might not have confidence in, coming to that from a standpoint of service. You think that would help?
It does. When you were saying that, it reminded me of how, like, I'll get online, people like, oh, you're doing great. But in my mindset, like, I want to be a perfectionist, because when you get on there, I feel like you got to know what you're talking about, and it has to be outlined this way, or people question that. And I think what plays in the back of my mind is, like I said, I got to work 10 times harder because I'm an African-American skincare owner. And that's the truth. I don't see color, but I know that that's the truth. So when I get out there, I'm like, okay, am I saying this correctly? Am I doing this correctly? And so then I just choose not to do it. You know, so that's the biggest thing, I feel like. But yeah.
Eric, for me, I don't see that as an issue. I have a sales background, and like I said, I've started business left and right. I come to kind of like Latia in that I'm finding that it's more hard for me, and I don't want to say it's because I'm a Black female in Madison, but I've come across so many walls that I'm exhausted from it all. I've listened to the Tony Robbins tapes and other, inspiring people, and that's what's kept me going. You know, I think that I'm a highly educated person with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from UW-Madison, and still fighting all of these roadblocks to success. So then when you tell me, or people tell you to start your own business, I'm like, well, I've done that too. So I'm just finding all these obstacles. And now I'm here again, like, okay, I don't want to start my own business, but it seems to be the route that I keep going down.
Right on. I appreciate that. Thank y'all for that feedback there. I mean, the barriers are real, you know, and I just want to say, there is part of it where we definitely need to be perfect. And I also think that perfection, done is better than perfect. And I really hold on to that mantra because I'm also a perfectionist, but 90% of the work that I get done is not at my best. It's just not. This presentation, for instance, I mean, I slapped this together because I spent more time on the outline of what I actually wanted to talk to you about. And then moments before we're supposed to go live, I'm making sure that the slides are there. You know, it's definitely not perfect, but it for sure is done. And so done is better than perfect. And sometimes you don't know what perfection looks like. And you can't really approach perfection until you've fallen down a couple of times. And when we see people who are quote unquote perfect, it's because they were brave enough to get out there and fail. And we don't see the failure. There's a song where TD Jakes is with Kirk Franklin, and he's talking about him, and he's like, you know, well, yeah, whatever, you're TD Jakes, but he's like, but you don't know how I struggled and what I've been through. And that journey is something that we can really we can really appreciate that. We'll talk about some of that, I think, in the third session when we get to really digging into resilience. But owning that and trusting in that is a big part of it. And so many people don't do anything because it's not perfect yet. And those are the folks, you know, some of that is coming from a different place. Some of that is it's not just I want to be perfect, but it's also I'm scared to do this, you know. And so overcoming that fear by accepting that nobody's perfect, nobody has it, and the best people are the ones we know are genuinely out here being themselves, flaws and all, and trying to serve. And if you're good at serving, you know, you can show up in a tank top, but if what you're saying is real, people will receive it. So and I want to spend more time on that, but there's some themes that I'm seeing in the needs section here, where I see people needing to focus their time, actually follow through, getting past the talk, and then I see the need to build a team. So I'm going to give some quick points about team building, and then we're going to move into what we want to do after this. And I'll give y'all a tool, a process that you can go through to start getting stuff done and to be more efficient with how you're getting stuff done. So the first thing with team, building a team, there's a whole framework on relationship building. And matter of fact, I'll share that with you. Let me make a note to share that with you. Relationship building framework. And these are just steps that you can think about as you're building relationships with people. When I first started getting serious about networking, people said that I was a natural, but you know, I'd be hit or miss when it came to building relationship. And what helped me build more authentic and real relationships was I memorized this 5-step process, and I would see it in my head as I sparked a conversation with someone. So I'm going to give you the steps to that process. And this is coming out of the Wisconsin Leadership Development course, where they take organizers and they put them in a room. And this is really for people who are trying to get someone onto their cause and to get a resource with someone and to have some mutual exchange. So the steps are attention, intention, exploration, exchange, and commitment. 5 steps: attention, intention, exploration, exchange, and commitment. If you have these steps in your back pocket, you can go to any networking event and walk through those and develop relationships with people you probably wouldn't have imagined being connected to. And before we get into what those steps are, just when it comes to making a connection with somebody who's going to eventually be a part of your team or be a resource to you. I know, Brian, you were talking about resources and support. I was talking about support, you know, and y'all were, a number of y'all were talking about building your team. Building teams, what I've learned is that, so with Opportunity Inc. is the parent company to the Madison Alliance for Black Economic Empowerment. MABI is a business services organization that supports Black entrepreneurs, helping them connect to business resources and to low barrier grants. And twice a year, we grant about $20,000 out to Black entrepreneurs. And we're hoping to increase that. But a big part of our work with MABI and with Opportunity Inc. is relationship building and collaboration. And one of the things that I learned about collaboration is that for someone to fit into a role, how many of you have let's just have a little bit of vulnerability here. How many of you have had a thing that needed to get done? You told somebody about it and they were like, I'd be willing to do that for you. Or you asked them to do it for you because they were there and they didn't follow through. How's that happened to y'all?
It has a lot.
Yep, I'm seeing some hands. One of the reasons why, okay, I'll ask you this in another way. I'll ask you this. How many of y'all have been asked to do something that lined up with what you wanted to do anyway? and you followed through. You made it work. Word. Latia, are you raising your hand just to acknowledge, or you got a question?
Raising just to acknowledge.
Oh, okay, cool. I appreciate that. That's a digital hand raise right there. We're getting tech savvy up in here. Right on. So when it comes to our team building, we approach team building. When we need a team, we approach that from the standpoint of, I gotta get this thing done. I have this need. This thing has to get done. Oh, that person says they'll do it. Great. But when we approach the things that we're going to do for ourselves, we gravitate toward things that align with our nature, who it is that we are, and that align with our personal goals. So our long-term personal goals, our short-term personal goals. If I want to be an entrepreneur and someone needs me to help them learn how to be an entrepreneur, I'm all for that. They might not even have to ask me to do that. I'm going to volunteer to do that. So a lot of times when we're building teams, we just think it's necessary for us to reach for whoever is closest to us, our friends, our family, people that know us, people that believe in us and trust us. But actually, if those people don't have an alignment, if their goals are not aligned with what it is that you're trying to do, then you're gonna have some difficulty. And they might in the short term deliver for you, but in the long term, it's not sustainable, because long term, they gotta focus on what's important to them. And if what's important to them is what's important to you, then you have a match made in heaven. The same thing goes for their nature. They can want to be a professional speaker all they want, but if it's not in their nature and they don't, they mumble all the time and they don't like to practice their craft and they actually don't like standing in front of people and it's not in their nature, so either they have to get better and get passionate about honing their craft, or you got to find somebody else. So one of the questions I like to ask folks is, what is it that you want to do and why? And that is part of the relationship building framework. So I'm gonna walk you through those steps. Attention and intention are very straightforward. First off, is this making sense to y'all? Are y'all feeling this? Is this resonating? Okay. All right, cool. So with attention and intention, attention is just saying, what up? It's getting someone's attention. It's literally saying hi. It's shooting the email. It's sending the, calling someone up. That's your attention. Your intention is saying, hey, why do you want to reach out to this person? Hey, I'm doing this new project and, you seem like you resonate. Or, hey, I want to learn more about what you do because I'm doing this thing over here. Or, hey, I'm here at this networking event, or we're on this networking call, and I'm passionate about connecting with people and seeing if I can be of service and if there's something that will fit my needs as well. Attention and intention should be quick, and sometimes your intention and your intention can set a time limit to be like, hey, listen, I only got a little bit of time, but I want to talk to you about this. And it's okay if you don't know what that this is, but genuine curiosity and interest in other people it's natural. And I think that we stay so focused on what we're trying to do. It's kind of backwards. It's like we're so focused on what we want to do. And I suffer from this too. We're so focused on what we want to accomplish that we got these blinders on and we're not paying attention to anything unless it reaches out and says, hey, I'm part of what you need. But having a genuine openness and curiosity and recognizing that everybody is connected to somebody, getting to know someone not only is helping you get to know yourself because we're reflections of each other, and somebody else's pet peeve could be your joy, and you might relate on something, connect on a whole nother level, and maybe somewhere down the line they say, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. I know I got a partner over here who does that thing. This is a whimsical journey. And if we can embrace the probability and the chance of it all, and the possibility of it all, it will open us up to be able to appreciate a stranger who may or may not have the title that we're looking for. They may or may not have, the skill set that we're looking for, but they may be connected to somebody who does. Or you might be able to fulfill your mission by being a support and a resource to them. So when it comes to attention and intention, being able to just cultivate that curiosity and that embrace of your pathway, and you don't never know who you're going to meet. You don't know who they're going to connect you to. You don't know what they do, who their mama was, who their partner was, what their experience was, and if they know how to do this thing or that. Being open to that allows you to come to a random conversation with integrity, saying, hey, I'm curious about why you're here, which is part of the exploration. So we did attention, intention, exploration is my favorite part, because exploration is saying, you know, why are you here? What is it that you do? Why are you doing this? Why are we in the same space right now? Why is it that you started your business? Why is it that, you know, you're wearing those clothes? Why? Curious like my 3-year-old. Why? And why more than once? And you want it to be an exchange as well. You want to be able to share your why as well. It's not an interrogation. You know what I mean? This is you getting to know someone and exploring the things that make them tick. And what you tend to find in that exploration phase, especially if you ask why at least twice, is that you start to get an idea of what makes people tick. So when you all gave your whys, you talked about different levels of your motivation. You talked about, you know, I need to make money. I need to, because I can, you know, I need my independence. And some of you were like, this is life or death for me. This is survival. You know, some of you were like, this is deep in me and it has to get done because it's just something I'm so passionate about. And the deeper you go in your whys, when you're connecting with someone, if you can connect on one of those deep whys, that's a real connection. That's a relationship. That's a relationship that's beyond, I need you to do this thing for me. Can you do it? Oh, you said yes? Great. Now I feel good. That's a relationship that's beyond, you got some money. I need some money. Can I sell you this thing? It's beyond that. We are connected on a deep meaning value level. And I understand those values in you because I've asked you that why. I've gotten to know you. So the exploration phase is where you just ask why. Just remember that. Ask why. Why are you here? Why do you do this? And ask at least twice. So you really get deep into that. A quick story about this. I was at the Frosty Ball a couple of years back. And I ran into the owner of the Anytime Fitnesses. And this man, you know, his name's Andy Gunlack. I recognize him because his picture is in all 32 of his Anytime Fitness gyms across the state and mostly within Dane County. I recognized him and I said, hey, what's up, man? You enjoying yourself? And he said, yeah, man, I'm feeling pretty good. And I introduced myself and I said, hey, you know, I'm just trying to get to know people here, just expand my network. You know, what is it that you're up to? And what is it that you do? And he said, well, I own some gyms and you know, I love people. I love helping people. And I said, why do you do that? And he said, I love to give people the tools that they need to improve themselves. And I said, man, I literally feel that same way because my whole goal is to help people improve their impact and their well-being. But I love to do it through mindfulness and meditation. That's just my passion. You know, I'm sharing with him. And his reaction immediately was like, oh my God, he grabbed me. He said, man, you do meditation? Do you do this for real? I have tried so hard to get myself to meditate. I've spent thousands of dollars on meditation tools and videos, and I just can't get myself to do it. If you can teach me, I would love to pay you to teach me meditation. And I said, listen, the way that I learned meditation was free. I would love to give it to you for free, but I'm sure we'll be able to work something out because I'm doing a whole bunch of other stuff. And 2 years later, he's a good friend. He's a meditation student of mine. He's somebody that has donated to my organizations, and we have a relationship. But what made that real was the exchange. So we got attention, intention, exploration, and then exchange. Exchange is where we say, hey, you have that thing, I have this thing. What if we did a little, you know, swap-a-roo exchange here? I think that salon, that school that you have, Brian, would be really good for me to be able to get in there and practice. And I really love to teach. Is there a way for us to, you know, work something out? The exchange part. Exchange is just putting two and two together based on what you learn from exploration. And then commitment, finally, is what makes the thing real. It's what It's your promise to that other person. It's their promise to you. I'm going to call you at this time on this day, and we're going to figure out how to make this thing work. Or I'm going to donate X amount to your cause. Or I'm going to show up here and I'm going to do this follow through work because I'm passionate about moving forward in my business, even during the time of crisis. So commitment is where you make that commitment. It's clear, it's defined. It's not, oh, well, let's check in some other time. It's very clear. It's very defined. It's something that you can stand on. So with those five steps to relationship building, you can have that in your back pocket, and you can walk into any networking situation and immediately have a strategy to connect with folks. And you never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to connect with. The same thing with making calls to people, with sending emails in this day and age where we have to social distance. Setting your intention very clearly, telling your story, allowing them to explore you, being curious about their story, what makes them tick. Especially if you're getting on the phone with people, really, really good way to build relationships. It has not failed me. So when it comes to building your team, you have to build relationships with people. And in that exploration phase, hopefully you get to discern if this is something that's really in their nature and in their long-term goals. If it's in their nature and it's in their long-term goals for themselves, they will show up for you. If not, maybe they'll show up temporarily, but you might be setting yourself up for some headaches and disappointment. So that's when it comes to the team building aspect of things. Now to the follow through. I promised y'all some steps for a follow through. And so what I'm gonna commit to doing for you all is I'm gonna send you a resource list. I'm gonna send you the link to Dane Buy Local if you haven't found it already. And then I'm going to send you the relationship building framework. And this is just based on what you all are saying that you need here on this call. So if you have other needs, voice them, send me an email. I can create a group of the folks that are participating now, if that's cool. Is that cool with y'all if I create a Google group for us to be able to send emails to our full group, share our needs, share our resources? Is that cool? Okay, I see your head nods.
I'm all right with that.
Okay, word. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure I connect us in Google groups. And then I'm gonna send you this step process for getting things done, execution. But before I go into this, I want to talk to you about the four disciplines of execution, and I promise I'm gonna be done by 6. I'm committing to you. I'm gonna be off of this thing by 6. But with the 4 disciplines of execution, I'll start with this proverb. It's an African proverb that says, a dog has 4 legs, but can only go in one direction. A dog has 4 legs, but it can only go in one direction. With the 4 disciplines of execution, it talks about how you get things done efficiently, even if there's a whirlwind happening around you. And the way that we do that is we focus on the wildly important goal. Have any of you heard of the 4 disciplines of execution? Anybody read that book? No? Okay. Good. I can show y'all something. So 4 disciplines of execution. You start with the wildly important goal. What is your wildly important goal? And this is the goal or goals that you have that you want to pursue in addition to managing your whirlwind. So we know we got kids. We know we got to-dos. We got to keep the business running. We got bills to pay. We got this thing happening and that thing happening. And in the midst of all that, that's always going to be happening. If we only focused on the whirlwind, then all we would have is the whirlwind. So even in the midst of the whirlwind, we have to be able to focus on our 1 to 3 things that are going to move us closer to our goal, to our destination, to where we are headed. So they call these the wildly important goals that you want to execute on and move closer toward, even despite and in the midst of your whirlwind. And they say to focus that on 2 to 3 and no more. And after consulting thousands of businesses, they found that, the authors found that when they came across the business that had 2 or 3 major, wildly important goals, they tended to reach maybe 2 or maybe 3 of them. When they came across a business and they consulted a business that had 5 or 6 wildly important goals, you know where I'm going with this, they reached maybe 1 of them. When they came across a business that had 12, 20 wildly important goals, they didn't reach any of them. And this was consistent over thousands of businesses. And what this is saying is that that bug that you have to create and to want to, make sure that you're delivering and you got, this thing, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. It's beautiful because it's coming from a beautiful place, but we got to be able to focus that in on 2 or 3, because you might have 4 legs, you might have 4 limbs, but you can only go in one direction at a time. And if you go in every different direction at a time, you're going to be going in circles and you're not going to reach your destination. Kind of like just walking, just keep turning around, going in circles. So, with the 4DX model, 4 disciplines of execution, they say focus on the wildly important, hone in your goals. But how do you choose? How do you choose what your goals are? Anybody got an idea? How do you choose what you focus on? Anybody? How are you choosing what you focus on?
It's normally by what I'm sorry, Brian. My thing is normally what I can control, what I can do in the now sense. What are the resources I have to complete that goal?
Okay. So if you got the resources to do it, what you can control. Okay, I feel that. Anybody else? How do you know what to focus on and prioritize?
For me, it'll probably be what I'm passionate about. So if I'm passionate about the business, or I'm passionate about whatever I'm doing, then that's what I focus on.
Okay. I like that. What you're passionate about, because you have the resources to control.
It brings out that drive, that hunger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You got to be passionate about it if you're going to succeed. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Right on. Anybody else? How do you know what to prioritize on? I think you said something, Miss Mama Jackie, but I didn't hear you.
I said, I'm sorry. I had to excuse myself for another call, so I just missed that. But you're gonna send some notes out, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna send some notes. It's not gonna be the full notes on this, but I'll send y'all some stuff.
All right, thanks, baby.
Okay, so I really appreciate. You definitely need to have the resources to do whatever it is you're gonna focus on. You definitely got to have the passion. One of the things that I learned about commitment is that sometimes that passion ain't there. But even though that passion ain't there, you still have to make the thing happen. You still have to keep going, even though the passion isn't there. And so even with, Sharon saying she had to get off. Okay. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sharon. So when it comes to commitment, sometimes the passion isn't there, and commitment is staying true to your intention even after that passion is gone. I think passion is really important when you are when you're starting something. You got to be passionate, excited. Passion is also important when the times get hard. But in the moments, how many of us have had moments in our business where we're like, I'm not even sure I want to keep doing this. I'm not even sure if I like this anymore. I certainly have. So passion is necessary, and also having the resources are necessary. Commitment is what we rely on when those things are waning and those things are lacking. So one of the tools that they give from the 4DX model is a way to decide what to focus on. And I use this constantly. It's asking this question: what will have the greatest impact with the least amount of input? I know kind of what I want to accomplish. What thing will have the greatest impact with the least amount of input? All right, thank you, Connie. Connie's saying she's got to jump off at 6. So if you can ask yourself, of all the things that we have to do, this helps with time management, this helps with prioritizing, this helps with focus. You got a million things on your list to do. Which of those things would make all the other things easier to do? Which of those things would have the greatest impact with the least amount of input? Which of those things would allow me to accomplish a lot without having to put a lot into it? So thinking of how to prioritize, you can ask yourself these questions. And this is also how you get down and dirty to actually executing. So I'm gonna finish off with these steps on execution. And I want to, just to bring it full circle, the other two elements of the 4DX model, there's focus on the wildly important, there's focus on the leading measures. And I can send you some notes on what leading measures are, but it's getting kind of technical. And then also accountability, or making it fun, and then having accountability. So making it fun is just keeping track, keeping score. And then accountability is having someone that you check in with regularly to see how you're doing along that journey. So yeah, absolutely. So where we're at with execution, I'm gonna walk you through 7 steps to get stuff done. And I wanna pull up these notes here so that I can make sure I'm not missing anything. How are y'all feeling right now? Are y'all getting anything from this? Is this resonating with y'all? Let me hear you.
And if that's okay, I'll go back.
I see some of y'all talking, but I can't hear y'all.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Word. I appreciate it. Okay, so I appreciate the head nods. So results, steps to results. 7 steps to results. I'm gonna give you these. We're gonna go through them briefly, and then our follow-through work is gonna be quite a doozy, but very, very important. And I'm committing to you all to follow through and share these resources that I mentioned, to share these notes that we talked about, but that commitment in a relationship is definitely mutual. And if we're gonna get the wealth out of this, I'm gonna need a commitment from y'all to follow through on some of these next steps if we're gonna be serious about taking our businesses to the next level, even in a crisis. So for results, I'm gonna give you the 7 steps to results, this results workshop. And then the goal is for you to go through some of these exercises on your own. We give you 2 different exercises for you to go through on your own. One is going to be called the Spotlight tool, where you talk about your greatest opportunity that you're experiencing right now and your greatest challenge. The greatest opportunity in front of you right now and your greatest challenge that's in front of you right now. And you're also going to take some time to go through the clarity questions again, just with more depth, and really spend some time and ask yourself why more than once. So first thing we're gonna do for our follow-through work is, on our own time, we're gonna go through the clarity tool again. Only this time, we're gonna ask ourselves why more than once. And super bonus points if you can ask yourself why 3 times, 4 times. The second thing is we're gonna go through the Spotlight tool, which asks you to answer the question, what's your greatest opportunity right now? And what's your greatest challenge? And we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about all of those things and get really deep into each and every one of our greatest challenges and our greatest opportunities, and put our heads together on how we can take advantage of those and how we can overcome those. The third thing is we're gonna go through these 7 steps for results that I'm gonna give you here in a second. And fourth, but certainly not least, is based on the needs that we found, that we heard here today, I'm asking each of us to spend some time doing a little bit of Googling to find some resources for each other. So if you want this community that we're building here to find resources for you, it's a give and take. We got to show up with something, and at the very least, put in some effort. So I'm committing to distributing this resource list for you all, but to support each other based on the needs that we heard raised today, we want to try to find some resources. So you can take a look at the notes to see what some of those needs are, but those are our 4 things that we're doing. Clarity, spotlight. We're going to go through the 7 steps, start on the 7 steps for results, and then do some research on resources for each other. Does that resonate with y'all? It's work, but it's important work. It's important work. Okay, so I appreciate the head nod. So 7 steps to results. Let's do it. So before we jump into this, you want to, I am going to include this in the notes, but I still, if you can write this down, I want you to write it down. We're going to list 5 reasons why you don't follow through on things. List 5 reasons why you do not follow through. So for those who are talking about following through, for those who are talking about time management, list 5 reasons. Everybody should be doing this, but for those especially, 5 reasons why you don't follow through. And sometimes if the barrier is too big, it tends to mean that we've made the thing too big in our head. So we made the problem and the goal too big in our head. We need to drill that down and chunk it down into smaller bites that we can accomplish. Usually if something is too big, it's hard to get started on it because you don't know where to start. So one of the first steps is 5, this isn't necessarily a step, just before you begin, list 5 reasons why you don't already follow through. And sometimes it's because we're out of practice of following through. We've been lying to ourselves. We get used to lying to ourselves. We get used to saying we're going to do something and not do it. So one of the ways you can combat that is to say you're going to do something, even if it's something as simple as going to take a shower or brushing your teeth. There's something that you can easily follow through on and get back into the habit, get your brain back into getting used to you following through. The second part is that we're lying to ourselves because we make ourselves think that the problem we're experiencing is not as bad as it is. So one of the first steps to change and to getting results is to get seriously disturbed about that thing that we may be lying to ourselves about. What is the thing that we need to get disturbed about? What are the areas of your life or of your business that you want to change, and why? And find ways to get disturbed. If you're curious about how you figure out what areas you need to change, you can come back to that question of, what if I changed one thing or 2 things, what things could I change that would have the greatest impact with the least input? That's always a good way to help you prioritize what it is that you want to do, what it is you want to focus on, what you want to change. So first step is to get disturbed. How do you get disturbed? You put yourself in the situation and put yourself in settings that remind you that of how serious this thing is. So if it's weight, if it's income, you put yourself around and research and learn more about people who are not experiencing that problem, people who have overcome that problem. Or you rehearse and outline what would happen if you don't change this thing. You get disturbed about it. If I never reach my goal, if I never get my independence with this business, what will happen to me? For some of us, it means this life or death. For some of us, we're not feeding our kids. For some of us, we're no longer housed. What would it be like to not be housed? It'd be cold. I'd be hungry. It'd be this. It'd be that. I wouldn't be able to. Getting uncomfortable does something to our basic instinct that turns us on, and it creates passion where there might not be none. It creates motivation to follow through where we previously didn't have it. I know that if I don't get this client, if I don't figure out how to get my business stable, if I don't figure out how to get online, get my podcast going, get my blogs going, get my mail list up, I'm going to fail. My son will be hungry. My baby mama's going to talk bad about me. And I'm eventually be homeless out here. And I won't have the impact that I want to have. That's so uncomfortable for me. And I live in that from time to time to remind myself that I need to be disturbed so that I can do what humans do, which is move away from pain and toward pleasure. We want to avoid pain. We want to move toward pleasure. So you're tapping into a subconscious element of yourself, a subconscious superpower, when you allow yourself to get disturbed about the thing that you want to change. That's step one, get disturbed. Second step is to make a decision about what you want instead. And a lot of us on here said, well, where I'm going is more money and more income, more clients, more opportunities. And that's beautiful that you know what you have an idea of what your destination is, but you want to get specific about that, laser specific, numbers. How much, how many clients? You can't reach a goal if you don't know where the pinpoint is. You can't reach a goal if you don't know where you're going. More money could be $1. Here's a couple bucks, enjoy the rest of your day. But if more money means I need to be able to make an extra $1,000 a month, I need to be able to make an extra $100,000 a year, an extra $10,000 a year, get specific about that. And by when? With commitments, you're making a commitment to yourself. If your commitment is specific and it's not all loosey-goosey, oh, someday I want to make more money. That's not a commitment. But if I'm telling you that by next year's time, I'm going to be bringing in 6 figures with an additional 10 mastermind clients, that's specific. That's something that I can reach for. That's something that I can see. That's something that I can taste. I can feel that, and you can commit that to yourself. But you got to get specific. So step 1 is get disturbed. Step 2 is make a decision about what you want instead. And step 3, one of my favorite steps, is take some time, 5 to 10 minutes, and jot down all of this little and big things that you can do to get you closer to that goal. Just brainstorm, let it flow. Even if something silly comes out, all of the small and big things that you can do to get yourself closer to that goal. I can wear a different shirt. I can make this list of things to do. I can, contact 10 potential customers. I can contact 10 potential mentors. I can research funding organizations. I can research people who got grants and messed it up. Whatever it is that comes to your mind in that 10 to 15 minutes, spend time letting it flow, so that at the end of that, you have a list of all of the little and big things that you can do. And then I want you to prioritize that list based on this. Who knows what I'm about to say right now? I want you to prioritize that list based on something. And I got a gift card for whoever can tell me what it is that how I want you to prioritize. Go ahead, Mama Jackie.
You want to prioritize that list on things that you know that you are willing to go ahead and get done right away.
Okay, know that we're going to get willing to go ahead and get done right away. Who else? How do I want you to prioritize this list in step 3 of all the little and big things that you could do to get towards your goal?
Things that you actually can do.
Things that you actually can do.
Right. If I'm in the right area, write down small and big. Brainstorm take about 5 to 10 minutes to write down small and big things to get to get me to my goals, to get me closer to my goals.
Yep. How would you prioritize that list? What am I gonna say about prioritization? You've been saying about prioritization. Feel free to jump in.
Okay, go ahead. That's fine.
Oh, I was going to say we're going to prioritize by what will have the greatest impact now on our list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for right there. All of y'all, you were saying it in different ways based on what you can do, and that's related. But what has the greatest impact with the least input? So I got a $50 gift card with your name on it, Judy. And I'm going to try to drop little things like that in here for our own motivation.
Yay, I never win anything. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
We participate.
Go, Judy.
And this is just, listen, we're learning about prioritization, and that's important for me to convey. If you can get this skill of prioritizing and focusing on what will have the greatest impact with the least input, you're eventually going to be successful, because you're not just swinging out and exhausting your energy and reaching for burnout. Instead, all of your reaches are for things that are highly impactful. And eventually you're going to get one of those, and it's going to set you up to succeed and excel. So step 1, get disturbed. Step 2, make a decision about what you need to change. Get specific about that. Step 3, make a list of all of the little and big things that you can do to get closer to that. And step 4, I want you to address your limiting beliefs. A lot of us have subconscious narratives that get in our way of success, even to the point where some of the entrepreneurs that I was talking to about qualifying, for the SBA loans, the PPP, some of them, qualifying for grants, qualifying for all different kind of resources, they are reluctant to pursue them. And you get this, I don't know, if I can, I don't. I'm like, man, it's a grant, just apply. I don't know if I can do that. I don't, it's a grant, but, am I ready for a grant? What do you mean, are you ready for a grant? It's a grant. Check the application out, at the very least. But some of us, we might not necessarily be that guy, but we drag our feet in other areas because of our confidence level, because of what we think we're worth, because of what we've seen, because of jinxes that we feel are on our lives, because of you name it. And these are limiting beliefs. And we have to identify them and spend time asking yourself, what beliefs do I have about myself and about my world that are limiting, that are slowing me down? And what beliefs do I need to cultivate in order to empower myself, to counteract those limiting beliefs? So as you're saying to yourself, oh, I'm not enough, I don't know enough, I'm not ready, maybe an empowering belief to that can be, I'm on my own journey and I'm growing as I grow. I'm at my own pace, and I probably will never be ready, but now is better than never. What belief can you replace your limiting belief with? What belief can you cultivate and rehearse for yourself that can break down the limiting beliefs that we know we have? I know I still have limiting beliefs all the time. And part of our journey, listen, if you don't address your limiting beliefs, you can work as hard as you want to work. But if you will subconsciously sabotage yourself, because deep down somewhere, you don't believe that you're worth it. You don't believe that it can happen. And you want to stay comfortable in your comfort zone and your financial thermometer. And if it get too hot, you get too much heat up in that kitchen, you want to turn that back down. That's why people who win the lottery are broke in 5 years. That's why people who win the lottery and take that lump sum say it's the worst thing that ever happened to them, because their financial thermometer kicks in and they're like, no, I need to be broke again. No, I need to give all this away. No, I need to sabotage myself. So how do we change our limiting beliefs to get ourselves to a place where subconsciously we're accepting and moving into opportunities, not just with our toil? And we're telling ourselves, the more I work, the closer I'm getting to my opportunities. It's not true. Deep down, we have to address our subconscious to draw us into opportunities, into situations that we don't even know are possible. In the same way that we're sabotaging ourselves in ways that we don't even see. But we can get closer to seeing them if we address our limiting beliefs. So what are your limiting beliefs? Asking ourselves that question deeply. That's step 4. Step 5, how can we make this enjoyable? How can we make the things that we said we're going to do the things that we're going to prioritize, how can we make that enjoyable? How can we add music? How can we add variety? How can we add stability to it? How can we add connection to it and be able to connect with people in it? It's easy to say, I'm going to do this thing, but we're connecting beings. We need to be connected. So having an accountability partner. It's easy to say, here's my to-do, here's my task list, but how am I going to enjoy doing that? Am I going to play some music? And am I going to do that over some good food? How are you going to intentionally enjoy the thing that you're committing to do? So that's step 5. Step 1, get disturbed. Step 2, make a decision. Step 3, your massive action plan. This is all the little and big things that you can do. And you prioritize that based on what has the least impact with the greatest input. I'm sorry, flip that on its head. What has the greatest input or greatest impact with the least input. 4th, you're going to address your limiting beliefs. And 5, you're going to figure out how to make your pursuit of this goal, your action steps, enjoyable, intentionally making them enjoyable. 6, you're going to take massive action right now. That means, what can you do right now to commit yourself to your journey, to commit yourself to your goal? You're going to put it on Facebook. Here it is what I'm doing. Say that, Mama Jackie. Say that again.
Say number 6 again.
Oh, number 6 is taking massive action right now. So number 6 is saying, of the things that I said I can do to get toward my goal, what is something I can do right now to commit myself to this journey, to make it so that it's no turning back, to make it so that it would be painful. It would be more painful for me to stop than for me to continue. How can I commit myself to this goal right now? That's step number 6. Commit yourself. Put it out there. Tell somebody about it. Purchase the thing. For me, this happened to me about a year ago. I had a course that I came across a course for mastermind groups. And I knew it was something that could help my business. It could help take me to the next level. It could help give me more value to give to more people. But it cost $2,500. And I did not have $2,500. But they had a little payment plan. And I had most of it. And here I am, I'm living in this co-op situation. I'm an entrepreneur. I shouldn't be spending money unnecessarily. I got a son, you know what I mean? I got to pay child support. I need to be stringent about my money, but something was telling me I need this for my business. I got to do this. So I committed myself to it. I jumped in, I spent the money, and I knew that I had to do a mastermind group if I was going to pay for it. I had to do a mastermind group if I was going to continue to pay my rent. I had to do a mastermind group if I was going to continue to put food on the table. So I did something that committed me to the journey. And as a result of that, I was able to be successful. I hosted the mastermind group. It was beautiful. So what big thing can you do right now to commit yourself to the journey? And it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be a burn the bridges type situation. It could be, just writing it down, putting it on the mirror somewhere, making it, treating it as an affirmation. But what can you do right now to commit yourself to this journey? And some of it for everybody here could be, I'm going to commit to this follow-through work. I'm going to commit to following through and going through my clarity tool, going through my spotlight tool, going through these 7 steps and researching some resources. I'm going to commit to doing that. So how can you take massive action right now? And last but certainly not least, the 7th step is peer influence. Peer influence. I know you probably heard that we are a mixture of the 5 people that we spend the most time around with. And for some of us in this quarantine situation, that might be a little bit concerning based on who you're spending your time with, but who can you connect to that can help you stay accountable to your journey? Who can remind you, even if it's just them being who they are, they can remind you, oh, this is a place that I wanted to go. Who can you keep around you? Who can you adopt in your peer circle that will force you? Maybe they're not forcing you and holding your head to the fire, putting a gun to your head, but just being around them and being in their relationships, being in relationship with them, forces you to have to go to another level. It forces you to have to follow through. You can't look them in their eye and say, I didn't do that thing that I said I was going to do. Who do you have in your peer circle, and who can you cultivate in your peer circle with those 5 steps of relationship building to help motivate you and keep you along your path, even if they're not doing it intentionally? So I'll quick review the 7 steps, and then we'll get out of here. I appreciate y'all patience, but I want to deliver this value to you. Step number 1 for getting results is get disturbed. Human beings move away from pain and toward pleasure. So you have to make the thing that you're getting disturbed about something that, how is it bringing you pain? How is it a fire that you need to get away from? And step number 2 is make a decision about where it is that you want to go instead, and get specific about it. Step number 3, all of the little and big things you can do to get closer to that goal, to reach that goal, and prioritize that based on the things that have the biggest impact with the least input. Step number 4, identify and address those limiting beliefs. They're there, they're creeping up all the time. Get better at addressing them and identifying them so you can cultivate stronger beliefs and pursue and reach your goals with less effort. Step number 5, make it enjoyable. You got your steps out. You know the things that you have to do. You listed all the little and big things you can do. How do we make it enjoyable? How do I make it so that I'm going to enjoy this? I'm going to put on some music and do that thing. I'm going to eat some good food and do that thing. I'm going to do this thing around somebody that I care about and that I enjoy, whose company I enjoy. How can you make it enjoyable? Step number 6, what can you do right now to commit yourself to that journey? Do it. And we're going to ask you, did you do it? How did you commit yourself? We're going to follow up on this. So just know this, we're going to be asking these questions. And if you're one of those people that, are afraid of following through, I'm sure life might come up for some of y'all, but I hope that you're motivated to show up with some answers to these. It's my job to put your feet to the fire. Step number 7 is, who can you surround yourself with? Who can you engage with? Who can you connect to help keep you along that path, to help keep you motivated, that you are motivated and inspired by just by being around them and connected to them? How can you cultivate that? Okay. Whew. Any questions on that? I'm about to shut up in a minute.
No. Well, I do have some. When you talked about commitment, I'm so huge on that, because that can make or break any type of good relationship. From responding to someone's email, meeting with them. I don't care if I'm going to meet with someone. If I'm going to be 1 minute late, I'm letting them know. That builds trust, So I just wanted to add that. I like that you talked about that, because that commitment stuff is how you build trust. And when you're falling short on even something as simple of not responding, at least in a timely manner, even if you can't or don't have the answer in that moment, at least let that person know that I'm looking into this, I'll get back with you. Something, anything that because that builds that trust. Yeah,
right on. I agree. Trust is important. And I think we have to trust ourselves more. I talked to a guy, he knew what he wanted to do, but he literally did not trust himself. And he said, what if I don't follow through? And I'm just like, man, we got to figure this out, man. You got to trust yourself. Anybody else? Questions or thoughts before we get out of here?
Great. Just want to say some great jewels were dropped here today. That definitely puts me in a different mind space, especially with being isolated during this time, to really think and get clear about how I want things to go. Because in my mind, I think we create what it is that we want. And so thank you for getting this group together and taking that time today to get me thinking.
Word. I appreciate it. Thank you for receiving that. Thank you. All right, y'all. This has been one. There is a recording to this, so I will upload and share that recording with you all, it is still really important that you participate, even though there is a recording, because as you can tell, the value comes from people participating and building that community. So can I count on y'all to show up next time, next week?
Indeed.
Word. Okay, I'm seeing some head nods. Word. Okay, right on. All right, so I'm gonna send out the resources that we discussed, the Dane Buy Local, the resource list. I'm also going to send the framework for relationship building. I'm going to connect us in a Google email list so that we can respond and send emails easily to each other, the ones who are participating. And also, we are all going to do our follow-through work, which is to revisit the Clarity tool, revisit those steps, revisit and go through the Spotlight tool. We didn't go through the Spotlight tool here, but the questions are, what's your greatest challenge? What's your greatest opportunity? And come to our next session with that. We're all gonna look into some resources based on the needs that we heard expressed here today. And we're all going to start executing on those 7 steps of results that we just went through. The getting disturbed, making a decision, massive action plan, limiting beliefs, making it enjoyable, taking action, and surrounding yourself with good people. Does that sound doable? Okay. I